Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a sketching practice type video. So for the past little while I have been practicing sketching faces because I am going to be starting a project soon where I need to do several characters that all belong in one world, so they need to have a very consistent style throughout them. But as I've been sketching, I've found that I am being very inconsistent with them, and when I am consistent, I don't really like the look of it. So that's what today is. I'm trying to really get a feel for how I want the characters' faces to generally look so that I can have them look like they're in the same world and but still be able to have different characteristics, different eye shapes, different face shapes. So that's really the kind of the balance is, where do I have enough similarities that they look like they all, like I said, belong to the same IP, the same world, but that they have enough differences that they are their own unique character. So one of the things that I really tried to focus on when I was working on this was to not draw from a formula. So what I mean by that, and I think it's something that a lot of artists struggle with, and I definitely have, and I definitely am now, but it's where you sit down and you draw a face, and you draw a face the exact same way. You draw the same structure for the head, and then the same jawline, and then the same proportions for where the features are on the face, and suddenly you have a character that looks like all your other characters with just slightly different eye shape and slightly different hair. And it definitely is a struggle because it's hard to be able to get into a rhythm of being able to draw a head and a face well, but then also not redraw the same thing you've done before. And what I've been doing that has really helped me is I've been looking, and this is going to be obvious, I've been looking at reference, and I've been really studying the different details that I can put into my own pieces. So I've been studying different nose shapes or different jaw lines, and then specifically putting those into the character that I'm drawing. And it's really helpful and exciting and inspiring to look at these different faces and add this visual vocabulary to how I work. That way when I'm just sketching and I'm away from reference and I'm away from the computer, I'm able to remember these faces that I've looked at so that I can include those into my pieces rather than everything ending up looking exactly the same over and over and over again. So this is really helpful for me. It's a practice that I'd like to do a lot more of, where I'm studying faces and studying the different details within them and how I can infuse that into my own style and how I want to draw them for this project. And another thing that I tried a little bit in this one, and I'd like to do a lot more of, is practicing drawing characters that are different ages. So most of what I draw when I sit down to do an illustration or when I'm sketching are characters that generally look about my age. So I tend to do characters that are mid-20s. I mean, that's the experience that I'm going through. Those are the people I associate with. So it does make sense why I prefer to draw characters that way. But I do think that not drawing other ages of characters is holding me back. I know that I am not getting as better as I could be, and I'd really like to be able to have the capacity to draw a different aged character if I need to. And for this upcoming project, I really do need to, because I need to have a full cast of characters, and I can't limit that to just 20-something looking characters, because that is very boring and completely not how the real world works. It's not dynamic or interesting. And I really kind of like it. I don't naturally draw characters that are older or younger, but when I do, I actually really enjoy it. I enjoy when it actually turns out successfully, and I think that it works for the character. So it's exciting because it's something that I haven't done a lot of, which means that I'm going to be learning new stuff. I'm challenging myself, and I enjoy the prospect of getting better at something specifically. And I absolutely loved working on the color palette for all of these little heads. It was so relaxing. Normally when I'm doing illustrations, they have a lot more complex of a color palette, which I love working out. It's kind of like a puzzle that I get to figure out and really work through, and eventually it's really exciting when it all comes together and it works out. But it's really relaxing, and I can sit down and just put colors that I find appealing and I like how they look together, because each head really only had like 2 or 3 main colors. So it just was all up to what I liked, what my preference was at that point. And it was really soothing to be able to work that way. And it's really helpful for me to do these kind of practice color palettes so that in the future when I do full illustrations, I have these kind of colors that I already know I like, and I know that I like how they look together. So it's a good practice for when it comes to actually working on a more complete color palette. But that is pretty much it for this video. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you at my next video. Bye!